At first, it looked like an ordinary discovery. Then, scientists realized what it truly meant. What was found in Africa raised terrifying questions about our past. Some experts still refuse to talk about it. Join us as we reveal the discovery that frightened science itself.
Number 14. Tsingy de Bemaraha. Madagascar's western coast hides a forest where the trees are made of stone. The Tsingy de Bemaraha, which translates to where one cannot walk barefoot, covers 230 square miles of razor-sharp limestone peaks. Some spires reach 230 feet high, creating a maze of needles that slice through anything soft. Water created this landscape over 200 million years ago. Rainfall slowly dissolved the limestone, carving deep grooves and leaving behind thin walls of rock. The result looks like Earth's attempt to grow stone needles from the ground. Walking through requires extreme caution. The rock edges are sharp enough to cut through boots. Paths between spires are often less than a foot wide, with drops of hundreds of feet on both sides. Getting lost here could be fatal. Despite the harsh conditions, life thrives in the Tsingy. 11 species of lemurs live among the peaks, leaping between stones with impossible precision. Birds nest in crevices where predators can't reach them. Unique species of plants grow in pockets of soil trapped between rocks. Several species exist nowhere else on Earth. Caves beneath the surface form an entire hidden world. Underground rivers carved enormous chambers, some large enough to hold cathedrals. Rare fish and invertebrates inhabit these dark waters, isolated from the outside world for millions of years. Mining companies eye the region for its mineral wealth. Every year, illegal logging creeps closer to the protected zones. If current trends continue, this prehistoric stone forest and its unique inhabitants could disappear within decades.
Number 13. Blombos Cave Ochre Workshop. In 2008, archaeologists working in Blombos Cave on South Africa's southern coast found something that changed our understanding of human intelligence. Inside a 100,000-year-old layer of sediment, they discovered what appeared to be an artist's workshop. 2 abalone shells served as paint containers. Inside the shells, researchers found ochre powder mixed with bone marrow and charcoal, creating a primitive paint. Bone tools showed wear patterns consistent with grinding and stirring. Someone had set up a paint production system 100,000 years ago. This discovery pushed back the timeline for complex human behavior by tens of thousands of years. Before Blombos, scientists thought abstract thinking and symbolic behavior only emerged around 40,000 years ago. This workshop proved our ancestors were mixing paint and presumably creating art 60,000 years earlier than expected. The ochre mixture was sophisticated. The marrow acted as a binding agent, making the paint stick to surfaces. The charcoal adjusted the color and helped it dry properly. Whoever mixed this paint understood chemistry and material properties. They weren't just smearing colored dirt on cave walls. They were engineering specific paint formulations for specific purposes. The cave also contained other evidence of complex behavior. Engraved ochre pieces with geometric patterns date back 75,000 years. Shell beads with carefully drilled holes show people were making jewelry. Bone tools were shaped and sharpened with clear purpose. Everything points to a population with fully modern cognitive abilities. The people who lived at Blombos Cave could think symbolically, plan ahead, and create art. They had culture, traditions, and the ability to innovate. They were, in every meaningful way, just as smart as we are. Finding this workshop in Africa makes sense because genetic studies confirm that's where modern humans evolved. But actually seeing physical evidence of our ancestors' intelligence preserved in abalone shells for 100,000 years makes it real in a way that DNA analysis never could.
I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you a naturally curious person? If you're watching, I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. This space is made for people like us. To ensure you're always part of this community and receive all our latest discoveries, you just need to do one thing: subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay connected with us. Okay, now that you're part of our Legion of the Curious, let's move on to the next item.
Number 12. Sky Blue Stone. Angelo Petone had been mining in Sierra Leone for years, but he'd never seen anything like the rock he discovered in the 1990s. The stone glowed with an intense blue color, brighter than any natural mineral he knew. Curious and confused, he sent it to laboratories for analysis. What came back shocked everyone. The stone was 77% oxygen. That's not supposed to exist. Regular rocks contain oxygen, sure, but mixed with silicon, aluminum, and other elements in stable compounds. This thing was mostly pure oxygen, somehow locked in solid form. Carbon dating placed its arrival on Earth between 11,000 and 18,000 years ago. The geological layer where it was found confirmed it had been buried for at least 10,000 years, ruling out any modern manufacturing. No tool marks, no signs of human intervention. Just a bright blue stone that shouldn't exist according to known geology. Some researchers suggest it might be a meteorite fragment with an unusual composition. Others think it could be evidence of an unknown geological process we haven't discovered yet. The wildest theories claim it's a remnant from an advanced ancient civilization or even extraterrestrial technology. Laboratory tests found traces of silicon, calcium, and sodium, but nothing that explains the extreme oxygen concentration. The stone sits in private collections now, away from public view. Scientists who examined it published brief reports, but offered no definitive conclusions. Whatever created this object operated outside the rules of known chemistry and geology.
Number 11. Dendera light bulb. Inside the Hathor temple at Dendera, Egypt, a carving on the wall has sparked wild debates for decades. The image shows human figures surrounding a large bulb-shaped object connected to a pillar. To modernize, it looks exactly like a giant light bulb with a power cable. Alternative historians jumped on this as proof that ancient Egyptians had electricity thousands of years before Thomas Edison. They point to the bulb shape, the cable-like connection, and what appears to be a filament inside. Some even built working replicas using the carving as a blueprint, showing it could theoretically function as a primitive electric lamp. Mainstream archaeologists strongly disagree. According to their interpretation, the carving depicts the Djed pillar, a symbol of stability in Egyptian mythology, supporting a lotus flower from which the sun god Ra emerges. The snake inside represents divine power, not a filament. The temple dates to the Ptolemaic period, around 100 BC, when Cleopatra's dynasty ruled Egypt. No archaeological evidence supports the existence of electric technology in ancient Egypt. No batteries, no wiring, no generators, and no texts describing electrical concepts. The Dendera temple contains dozens of other carvings showing gods, rituals, and astronomical events, all explained through religious symbolism. The light bulb interpretation requires ignoring all cultural and historical context. Yet the image remains popular in documentaries and books about ancient mysteries. It's a perfect example of how modern people project current technology onto ancient symbols, seeing what they want to see, rather than what ancient Egyptians actually meant to communicate.
Number 10. Skeleton Coast Shipwrecks. Namibia's Skeleton Coast earned its terrifying name the hard way. For centuries, sailors called it the Gates of Hell. The coastline stretches for 300 miles along the Atlantic, where thick fog, violent surf, and howling winds create perfect conditions for disaster. Dozens of ships lie scattered across the beaches, their rusted hulls slowly being consumed by sand and salt. The Edward Bolen, a German cargo ship, ran aground in 1909. Today it sits almost half a mile inland because the desert keeps expanding into the ocean. The Dunedin Star wrecked in 1942, and rescue efforts turned into their own disaster when 2 rescue ships also got stuck. Walk along this coast and you'll find whale skeletons the size of buses bleaching in the sun. Seal colonies occupy the rocky outcrops, and when the animals die, their bodies mummify in the dry heat instead of decomposing. Thousands of seal skeletons create eerie bone fields that stretch for miles. The combination of the cold Benguela Current and the scorching Namib Desert creates the dense fog that's claimed so many ships. Sailors couldn't see the coast until they were already crashing into it. Even if crews survived the initial wreck, the desert offered no water, no food, and temperatures that could kill within days. Bushmen who lived in the region would occasionally find European sailors wandering delirious through the dunes, already dying of thirst. Modern navigation technology has made shipwrecks rare, but the old hulks remain as monuments to how brutally unforgiving nature can be when ocean meets desert.
Number 9. Lake Natron calcified animals. In northern Tanzania sits a lake that turns animals into stone statues. Lake Natron's water is so alkaline it measures pH 10.5, nearly as caustic as ammonia. The temperature can hit 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Flamingos are the only birds that thrive here, feeding on algae that turns the water blood red.
British photographer Nick Brandt discovered something disturbing in 2011. Dead birds and bats lay along the shoreline, their bodies calcified into perfect statues. The animals looked alive, frozen mid-flight or mid-step, but they were essentially mummified by the lake's chemical composition. The water contains high concentrations of sodium carbonate and other minerals that flow down from surrounding volcanic hills. When animals die in or near the water, these chemicals preserve their bodies in remarkable detail. Feathers remain intact, eyes stay in their sockets, every detail gets locked in a mineral coating. Scientists debate exactly how the animals die. Some birds might crash into the lake's mirror-like surface, mistaking it for sky. Others could get disoriented by the toxic fumes rising from the water. Bats might drink from the lake and get poisoned. Once dead, the preservation process happens quickly. The same chemicals that kill them also mummify their remains. Brandt photographed the calcified creatures and arranged them in lifelike poses, creating haunting images that went viral worldwide. The photos look like art installations, but they're real animals, transformed by one of Earth's most extreme environments. Despite the deadly conditions, Lake Natron serves as the primary breeding ground for East Africa's lesser flamingos. Over 2.5 million flamingos nest here because the caustic water protects their eggs from predators. Life finds a way, even in places that seem designed to kill.
Number 8. Hexagonal space diamonds. When an asteroid slammed into South Africa 2.9 billion years ago, it brought gifts from a dead planet. Scientists studying the impact site in 2018 found diamonds with a hexagonal crystal structure, impossible to form on Earth under normal conditions. Regular diamonds form deep underground, where pressure and heat arrange carbon atoms in cubic patterns. These space diamonds were different. Analysis revealed they came from a protoplanet, a world that was forming during the solar system's violent birth 4.5 billion years ago. That planet got smashed to pieces during collisions that were common in the early solar system. The diamonds contain Lonsdaleite, an extremely rare mineral named after British crystallographer Dame Kathleen Lonsdale. This substance only forms when asteroids containing carbon-rich material impact at incredibly high speeds. The shock wave creates temperatures and pressures that reorganize carbon atoms into hexagonal shapes. Inside the diamonds, researchers found tiny grains of osbornite, a mineral that only exists in carbon-rich meteorites. This proved beyond doubt that the diamonds came from space. The largest pieces found so far are microscopic, but scientists believe bigger chunks might exist deeper in the impact site. These space diamonds offer a window into the solar system's chaotic childhood. The parent planet they came from probably resembled early Earth, with a molten core and rocky mantle. Studying them reveals what materials were available when planets were forming, helping us understand how Earth itself came together from cosmic debris.
Number 7. Adelatherium hui. In 1999, paleontologists digging in Madagascar's Cretaceous sediments found a skull that made them question everything they knew about ancient mammals. The creature lived 66 million years ago, sharing the island with the last dinosaurs. When researchers found more bones in 2010, they realized they had something truly bizarre. They named it Adelatherium hui, which literally means crazy beast. The size of a modern badger, it had a body built for digging, with powerful front legs and a long snout perfect for rooting in soil. But its skull was insane. The head had multiple holes and cavities in unusual places, suggesting an extremely sensitive nose, capable of detecting prey underground. The skeleton broke all the rules. Its backbone curved in ways that don't match any known mammal group. The legs attached to the body at weird angles. The teeth were unlike anything in its supposed family tree. Scientists struggled to classify it because it shared features with several different mammal groups while belonging to none of them. Madagascar's isolation allowed evolution to run wild experiments. Cut off from mainland Africa for millions of years, the island became a laboratory where animals evolved in completely unique directions. Adelatherium represents one of those experiments, a mammal that evolved features found nowhere else. The fossil is remarkably complete, with bones from nearly every part of the body preserved. This gives researchers an unprecedented look at how mammals diversified during the age of dinosaurs. The crazy beast earned its name not just for its appearance,
but for challenging scientists' understanding of mammalian evolution.
Number 6. Oklo natural nuclear reactors. In 1972, French scientists analyzing uranium from Gabon made an impossible discovery. The uranium had already been used. Isotope ratios showed clear signs of nuclear fission, as if someone had run the ore through a reactor before mining it. The problem? This uranium came from deposits 2 billion years old. The Oklo mine contained evidence of natural nuclear reactors that operated for hundreds of thousands of years during the Paleoproterozoic era. Back then, Earth's uranium concentrations were higher, and specific geological conditions created perfect reactor conditions. Groundwater flowed through uranium-rich rock deposits, acting as a moderator, just like in human-designed reactors. When enough uranium concentrated in one spot with the right amount of water, nuclear fission began spontaneously. The reaction would heat the water until it boiled away, stopping the reaction. Then the rock would cool, groundwater would seep back in, and the whole process would start again. This cycle repeated for hundreds of thousands of years. Scientists identified 16 different reactor zones at Oklo. Each one operated at different times, generating an estimated 100 kilowatts of power. The waste products stayed remarkably contained within the rock formations. The reactors produced plutonium and other radioactive elements, but the geology prevented them from spreading into the environment. This natural experiment provides crucial data for modern nuclear waste storage. If nature could contain radioactive material for 2 billion years, maybe we can design storage facilities using similar principles. The Oklo reactors ran longer than human civilization has existed, and the waste is still exactly where the reactions left it. Engineers study these ancient reactors to understand long-term nuclear waste behavior. How did the rock formations contain the radiation? Why didn't the waste migrate? These questions matter because we need to store nuclear waste safely for thousands of years. Nature already proved it's possible.
Number 5. Vredefort Impact Crater. The biggest scar on Earth's surface sits in South Africa. The Vredefort Impact Crater measures 190 miles across, though erosion has worn it down over 2 billion years. When the asteroid hit, it was probably 6 miles wide, traveling at tens of thousands of miles per hour. The explosion released more energy than 1 million nuclear bombs going off simultaneously. The impact vaporized everything within hundreds of miles. Rock melted and splashed like water. The shockwave flattened forests across the entire continent. A crater 300 miles wide appeared where solid ground had been seconds before. Dust and debris shot into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight and causing global climate shifts that lasted for years. Today, you can visit the crater, though it doesn't look like what you'd expect. 2 billion years of erosion filled in the hole and wore down the crater walls. What remains is a subtle dome structure near Johannesburg, with exposed rock formations that tell the impact story. The Vredefort Dome is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Geologists study the shocked quartz and melted rock layers to understand impact mechanics. The rocks show evidence of pressures and temperatures that only occur during asteroid strikes. Some samples contain microscopic diamonds created by the impact pressure. The strike happened during a crucial period in Earth's history. Life existed, but only as simple single-celled organisms. The impact probably sterilized huge portions of the planet, wiping out whatever primitive life had evolved. But it also brought new minerals to the surface and created niches where different life forms could emerge. Vredefort represents the largest verified impact structure on Earth. Even bigger craters existed once, but plate tectonics and erosion erased them. This one survived because it hit a stable continental shield that doesn't get recycled. It's a permanent reminder that we live on a shooting gallery, and Earth has taken some serious hits.
Number 4. Baobab trees. The African savanna holds giants that existed before dinosaurs walked the earth. Baobab trees, with their massive trunks and upside-down appearance, have survived for over 200 million years. The oldest confirmed specimen, the Pankei baobab in Zimbabwe, lived for 2,450 years before collapsing in 2011. These trees look like someone planted them wrong, with branches resembling roots reaching toward the sky. Local legends say the gods got angry and flipped them upside down as punishment. The truth is almost as remarkable. A single baobab can store up to 32,000 gallons of water in its trunk during rainy seasons. That's enough to fill a small swimming pool. When drought hits, the tree can survive decades without producing a single leaf. Then, when rain finally comes, it explodes with fresh growth within weeks.
The trunk alone can reach 100 feet in circumference, wide enough to fit a small house inside. Some communities in Africa actually hollow out dead baobabs and use them as storage rooms, shelters, or even bus stops. The fruit contains 6 times more vitamin C than oranges. The leaves work as vegetables rich in calcium and iron. The bark provides fiber for making ropes strong enough to pull elephants. Seeds yield cooking oil. During harsh dry seasons when nothing else grows, baobabs become the difference between life and death for entire villages. That's why locals call them the tree of life.
Number 3. Mbiresaurus rathi. Zimbabwe's northern region gave up a skeleton that rewrote African dinosaur history. Discovered in 2017, Mbiresaurus rathi lived 230 million years ago during the Triassic period, making it the oldest dinosaur ever found on the continent. The animal measured about 6 feet long and stood only 12 inches tall at the hip, roughly the size of a large dog. Despite its small stature, it was the top predator in its environment. Mbiresaurus belonged to the sauropodomorph group, ancestors of the giant long-necked dinosaurs like Brachiosaurus. But unlike its enormous descendants, this early relative walked on 2 legs and was built for speed and agility. Its teeth were serrated like steak knives, designed for eating meat and plants. The skeleton was remarkably complete, including skull bones that rarely survive fossilization. This allowed scientists to build detailed models of what the animal looked like and how it moved. During the Triassic, all continents were smashed together in a supercontinent called Pangaea. Animals could walk from what's now South America to Africa without crossing water. Mbiresaurus fossils help prove this, as similar species have been found in Argentina and Brazil. The discovery fills a crucial gap in understanding how dinosaurs spread across the world. Before this find, Africa had almost no Triassic dinosaur fossils, making it seem like these animals somehow skipped the continent. Mbiresaurus proves they were there all along, we just hadn't found the evidence yet.
Number 2. Fairy circles of Namibia. Flying over Namibia's desert reveals one of nature's strangest patterns. Thousands of perfectly circular bare patches dot the landscape, ranging from 6 to 65 feet in diameter. Locals call them fairy circles, and they've puzzled scientists for over 40 years. From ground level, each circle looks like someone used a giant cookie cutter to remove all vegetation from a specific spot. The surrounding grass grows thicker and greener around the edges, creating a ring effect. These formations stretch across 1,100 miles of desert, appearing and disappearing in cycles that last between 24 and 75 years. One theory blames termites. According to this idea, the insects eat plant roots in circular patterns, eliminating vegetation and allowing water to collect. The moisture then concentrates at the edges, feeding the ring of grass. But this doesn't explain the larger circles or why they form such precise geometric patterns. Another hypothesis involves plant competition. Desert grasses supposedly organize themselves to maximize water collection, creating the circles as a side effect. Yet controlled experiments couldn't reproduce the phenomenon. Some researchers found radioactive elements in soil samples, leading to theories about underground gas emissions killing plants from below. The circles appear randomly, grow to full size over a few years, then fade away and sometimes reappear in the same location decades later. Satellite imagery shows they follow mathematical patterns, similar to those found in chemical reactions and animal skin patterns.
Number 1. Great Pyramid Hidden Chamber. In 2017, researchers scanning the Great Pyramid of Giza with cosmic ray detectors made an announcement that shook the archaeological world. They found a previously unknown chamber inside the 4,500-year-old structure. The void sits above the Grand Gallery, measures at least 100 feet long, and has remained sealed since the pyramid's construction. The discovery used muon tomography, a technique borrowed from particle physics. Muons are subatomic particles created when cosmic rays hit Earth's atmosphere. They pass through solid matter, but get absorbed at different rates depending on density. By placing detectors around the pyramid, scientists created a 3D map of its interior without moving a single stone. The new chamber's purpose remains unknown. Conservative archaeologists suggest it might be a structural feature designed to reduce weight pressing down on the Grand Gallery. Ancient Egyptian builders used similar voids in other pyramids to prevent collapse. Alternative theorists immediately claimed it could be the legendary Hall of Records, a supposed library of ancient wisdom mentioned in esoteric texts but never proven to exist.
Some even suggest it might contain alien technology or knowledge from a lost civilization. The Egyptian government hasn't authorized any drilling or excavation to access the chamber. Opening it could damage the pyramid's structural integrity. Plus, if it's been sealed for 4,500 years, exposure to air and humidity could destroy whatever's inside within hours. Modern robots might eventually snake through tiny holes drilled from the Grand Gallery, giving us camera's eyes inside without major excavation. Until then, the chamber remains one of archaeology's most tantalizing mysteries.
Still curious? Then don't stop now. The next mystery is already waiting for you. Just click the video on screen. I saved it just for you. See you there, curious one.